Underworld Blood Wars is the fifth film in the chronology of Underworld live-action films and continues the centuries-long war between the vampires and the Lycans. And while the film does answer a few questions from the end of Underworld Awakening, Blood Wars does leave fans asking several more afterwards. And for those who haven't seen Blood Wars or any of the Underworld films prior, keep in mind everything from here on out will be a spoiler, so you've been warned. Seriously, I cannot stress this enough. If you plan on seeing the film and you do not want the ending spoiled for you, do not watch this video. Add it to your playlist and watch it later. Anyway, so here's what we do know. At the film's conclusion, we are briefly informed that there are now only two remaining vampire covens, the Eastern and the Nordic coven, both portrayed and were under attack heavily in the film, and that Selene has gone from an outcast, hunted by both vampire and Lycan alike, to now the highest honor of being one of the three chosen elders on the Vampire Council. But what does our closing dialogue of "there is no beginning, there is no end, only the coming" actually mean? What does Selene's daughter Eve finding her at the Nordic Coven mean for the future of the Underworld franchise? And is Selene's baby daddy Michael Corvin truly dead, or did Marius keep him alive in secret? Let's start with the last question. From the end of Underworld Awakening, Michael Corvin's well-being has been in question. But near Blood War's conclusion, during a fight scene between Selene and Marius, Selene gets a bit of Marius' blood in her mouth, allowing her to see Marius' past through his eyes, a power she has used several times throughout the series. It happens quickly, but in his visions we see that Marius was at Antigen, the secret Lycan-run biotech building that was used during Underworld Awakening to trick humans into believing that they were working on an antidote for the virus that creates vampires and Lycans. At Antigen, Marius was there while Selene and Michael were frozen in cryogenic suspension, and all we know from the end of Underworld Awakening is that Michael escaped at some point from his cryo sleep. So before the events of Blood Wars, Michael Corvin was captured by Marius, all of his blood was drained from his body, killing him in the process, and Marius used Michael's hybrid and Corvinus-strained blood to temporarily boost his abilities. So unfortunately, yes, Selene's baby daddy Michael will no longer return in future Underworld projects unless it's some sort of a flashback. But returning to future titles will be Selene's daughter Eve. The very end of the film concludes with Selene choosing to remain at the Nordic Vampire Coven. She is sitting below the frozen wall of water, and as the film closes, her daughter Eve approaches looking for her mother. Eve will most likely end up playing a much bigger role in future films, as her raw brute strength and enhancements due to her bloodline makes her the most powerful being in the Underworld movie universe. However, unclear whether the same young actress who played Eve in Underworld Awakening, India Isley, was the same girl portraying Eve in Blood Wars, as whether or not she would appear in the film has been kept secret to prevent from possibly spoiling the film for fans before they see it in theaters. And now the last explanation of what do Selene's closing marks of "there is no beginning, there is no end, only the coming" actually mean. This could be an ironic metaphor for the film franchise. There is no beginning, meaning even the movie Rise of the Lycans could even have a prequel film come before that, in which we see Alexander Corvinus' origin more vividly. There is no end, meaning that this war between the vampires and Lycans will never end. And there is only the coming, meaning that, strap in Underworld fans, this franchise is not going to stop making movies and possibly a rumored TV series anytime soon. But more likely is that this refers directly to the war between the Lycans and the vampires. We are unaware of the exact beginning of this war, and there is no end in sight, only the coming battles in between. Anyway, that's everything I have for the Indie Explained of Underworld Blood Wars. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and tell me your feelings on the film if you've seen it. Also be sure to comment below what you believe the title of the next Underworld movie will be, if you had to guess. I believe that it will be called Underworld Rebirth, or Offspring, or something pertaining to Eve. I don't know, I'm sure you guys have better ideas than I do with this. Anyway, I'll be back next time with videos like this and more, and as always, this is 5 Things That Explains Everything with The Fingerbang Show. I'm out.